It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to a fresh new set. I hope you guys enjoy it. Do you even recognize me? Do you even know who I am? Do you even know what to do without my bright green background that set the YouTube doser community on fire? Literally, what will you guys even do? What will you even talk about in the comments? What will you yell at me about? Welcome, everyone, to a brand new season of Daily Dose of Donna. Happy Monday, April 7th. It is spring break here in the bowling household, and it feels very spring break. It feels very White Lotus. We got a little Italian background. We got some water. We got some beach. I'm feeling the beach vibes. How are you guys doing? I did this myself. And by the way, you guys can check it all out on my members only vlog. I vlogged it. I'm a vlogger. Okay? Vlogging. Vlogger. Donna Bowling, vlogger. On my members only, I posted a members only last night where I showed you guys my entire experience over the weekend wallpaping. I'm a wallpaper. I wallpapered it up. I pulled it. I put it back up. And last night, Lance and I sat at this desk. We had a cocktail and we gossiped on Patreon. So you've got a bunch of different ways to connect with me over the weekend. Join on Patreon, watch on the YouTube members only, or join here on YouTube or on the audio platform for free because we've got so much to talk about. Beth wants to know if Sheena Shea taught me how to vlog. Yes. And how is Sheena Shea doing these days? I think I unfollowed Sheena. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. Like, I'm done with Sheena. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the show. Hopefully no one gets headaches from the background. I thought it was calming. It feels very shabby chic. It feels very happy. I'm a boy mom, right? Remember how many people hate me for saying that I'm a boy mom. So now I'm I have a girly vibe in here. Feels very girly. Oh my gosh. Wanda wants to know if this is from Dorit's Buca de Beppo. Buca de Beppo lounge. It is. This is my Capri. It's my Capri room. That is hysterical. It's my Capri room. Welcome. You guys, this is so fun. It's cottage core. Is that the vibe that I'm going for? This is cottage core. Well, welcome to my cottage core. Shit, I don't love cottage core. Is that what I went for? Take it down. Producer, remove it. I don't like it. You guys, it's a whole setup. It's like a whole situation. I have a lamp on the floor because I have to figure that out. But it goes all the way. All the way. It's so cute. I want to live in here. More calm. And I'm a male apologist. Yes, according to Anne-Marie, that's one of my stories today. I'm a male apologist. I hate women. I only love men. Yep. Welcome to the I Hate Women, Love Men podcast, starring Daily Dose of Donna. Just kidding. That's only for Paige. Paige DeSorbo hates men. Remember, that's her brand, not mine. Josh says, I'm not loving men right now. We can talk all day. Let's talk about all of that. We have so much to talk about, guys. We're going to talk about Paige DeSorbo and her New York Times article. We're going to talk about Gabby Windey, who's being accused of being a bully. Did you guys see that? She talked about Clayton and his dancing. We're going to be talking about Blake Lively, of course, and all of that. We're going to be talking about Karen Reed. Ridge, I know her as Elsie, but you guys may know her as Fafo and Associates, is going to be joining me in just a bit to tell us all about the updates on Blake Lively because I can't keep up. I can't keep up with Blake Lively shit, you guys. It's every time I close my eyes, there's a new story. And by the way, not even going to sleep. Every time I blink, there's a new Blake Lively story. And Fafo and Associates, she's the one that finds it. She finds it all the time. Hair by Teresa says, I'm even dressed like a gondolier. I am. I didn't even realize I'm dressed in character as a gondolier. I need to be a singing person in Venice. La la la. So if you are not here on the YouTube, jump on over to YouTube just for a momentito. Make sure to subscribe. If you have not subscribed, why not? This is fun. This is a fun spot. Come on over. I will definitely send Zach a picture of me in my Mommy Sleuth shirt. Don't worry, not a nude. And make sure to buy a Mommy Sleuth shirt from Zach before his charity run is over on April 11th. I have the link somewhere. nofiltermerch.com. And we'll get into all of that in just a bit. You guys, welcome to the show. This is your daily dose of Donna. Someone just said you need a beret, and I was like, I do need a beret. I really need a prop closet. Like, I really do need all of my props in one area for my show. Karen Reed. Let's start with Karen Reed, you guys. I am doing everything in my power to get Lance on board with Karen Reed. And I don't know if I'm going to be the one that's going to get him on board. It's going to be one of his friends because Lance is that kind of person, you know? I don't know if any of you guys find this with your own relationships or even kids, right? You can tell your kids or your husband or your wives the same thing over and over and over and over. Do this, watch this, see this, change this about you. They won't do it. But then their friend or their teacher or their girlfriend or whatever, someone else says something and that's it. Like it's a done deal. All of a sudden they're like, oh, I got to watch Karen Reed. So the other day, as I was in Chicago, Lance says to me, oh my gosh, are you listening to the 13th Juror podcast? I said, yes. What? You're not even watching the documentary. You didn't even watch the 5-part HBO Max or Max documentary. Why aren't you watching this with me? He goes, well, my buddy Tim came into the office and he told me about the 13th Juror podcast. I said, now you're going to get on board? But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I was just watching The Lawyer You Know, who I'm trying to collab with. You know, these people are hard to get a hold of, these busy YouTubers. So if you guys are in with The Lawyer You Know, shoot him a message. I already did, but shoot him a message and tell him, I'm just trying to sign into my computer here. I got signed out. Tell him, say Donna Bowling at Daily Dose of Donna is trying to get you on her show. So Peter, I was trying to connect with him because he just was featuring Billy Bush. Billy Bush, I have like a soft spot for Billy. You know that. Billy Bush is such a nice guy. When I was on his show a few weeks ago talking about Blake Lively, he was so kind to me. He was so kind to my son, Dylan. I will never, ever, ever forget that. So many people in real life, they say never meet your heroes. I mean, I wouldn't say Billy Bush is my hero, but they say never meet celebrities that you like because those celebrities really surprise you. Oh, that reminds me. I talked about this last night on Patreon, that video of freaking Bill Murray saying he was attacked by his fans. Did we talk about that? We didn't talk about that. Yeah, I'm not a man sympathizer when it comes to Bill Murray. I can't. I got to pull this one up for you guys. I talked about it last night on Patreon. So if you guys want to see a deep dive about that, but I'm telling you, I really do not. I like Bill Murray so much. And Lance and I really talked about like our favorite Bill Murray movies, and Groundhog Day is up there. Lost in Translation is up there. But Bill Murray, he's out of control. He gets a really, really bad rep as like a personality in real life. But you got to check out how he talks to this fan. Have you seen this video? This is on Daily Mail. I think it posted on Friday. Check this out.
Stop it. If you attack me like that again, I'll step on your foot. Okay, don't do it. That's a physical assault you just made. Sorry. Don't do it again.
Then he goes up the wrong escalator, which is just awkward.
You're not big enough to do that.
Watch it one more time.
Stop it. If you attack me like that again, I'll step on your foot. Okay, don't do it. That's a physical assault you just made. Sorry. Don't do it again.
Stop it. You attack me one time like that, I'll step on your foot. He already did step on his foot, it looked like. Lance said he did something like a donkey kick, which is when you go like, her, like you do it back, like, I'm barefoot, you know? Now, Gina says, we're only seeing 10 seconds. Who knows what was happening before that? Stop stalking celebrities. Okay, hold. Stalking is a little bit of a big word. All right. That's a big word there for that. This is a public situation. He clearly has like manhandlers, and there's other video following Bill Murray in this moment. So like, let's kind of calm down about stalking celebrities. We're not in his house. We're not in his private home, like in a private situation. We're in a public place. I don't think that's considered stalking. When you are a celebrity, I hate to say it, but when you're a celebrity, it's part of the gig. You're Bill Murray, for God's sakes. You're a huge celebrity. Expect that people are going to be excited to see you. And I have to say that when you are, you know, a fan, now this man may have been really too close to him. So that part I get. I would be a little turned off if someone was getting in my space, because I do have issues with people when they are too close. Like, I'm not into really close talkers. I'm not into people that are like way into your space, right? So that there could have been an issue. I would love to see the 10 seconds before. You're right about that. But I don't think he was being attacked, and I don't think he was being stalked. I think there's like a little bit of but he has a very, very bad reputation. It's like a Chevy Chase situation, you know? Now, someone said he also had issues with my favorite Charlie's Angel, Lucy Liu, who seems so professional and kind. This is Bree98. Never heard anything bad about her, but have about Bill Murray. Enrique says he's like 85 years old. That was my grandpa when he was alive. And then let's see. Seven says, I met Bill Murray outside the plaza when he was doing an interview for ET. In 1988, he couldn't have been nicer. Well, a lot of celebrities start out really nice and then get really jaded and pissy as they get older. I mean, that's honestly how I think how a lot of it goes. 1988. I know that it feels like it's only 2000, so that feels like, oh, that was only 12 years ago. But that was almost 40 years ago. Can we get over that for just a sec? 40 years ago. Not really. I mean, it's 37 years ago? Yes, I'm a doser and I know how to do math. Thank you very much. But he wasn't getting attacked. Oh my God. Trent says, don't Drew Barrymore me. Yes, please do not Drew Barrymore me. So I don't know. I can't handle when we think about the 80s as being 40 years ago. Like, that makes me vomit. I can't. But it really does. I think that Bill Murray is kind of an ass. I've heard it multiple times through the years. Okay, back to Billy Bush. So the lawyer, was covering this episode of Billy Bush. Billy Bush is now covering Karen Reed. And I love it. So this is like 3 degrees of Billy Bush. Billy Bush had this former Canton PD, sergeant, police officer. Canton is where the trial of Karen Reed is taking place. And in that city it feels like, this is a personal opinion. Obviously, I'm an opinion show. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a police officer. And I am someone that feels that Karen Reed is being set up. That's my gut. That's my gut feeling on this situation, just from everything I've read, everything I've seen. And I know that a lot of people are very sensitive about this and feel very, very strongly that, she is not being set up, that she is very guilty. But I've seen way too much that feels like that's not the case. So this retired sergeant has been, let me pull up my history from my show so that I can show you. Here we go. So the lawyer, he covered Billy Bush's show where Billy Bush was interviewing this retired Canton PT sergeant. Now, why I think this is interesting is because the sergeant who was on Billy Bush's show is coming from the same precinct, the same city as Canton. I mean, and if this is actually a police cover up, what is interesting about this is you would think that they would be much more concerned about, like, whatever you do not, go against us. Like, stick with us. Don't go against the family, right? Like the police don't go against each other. But this guy is calling it out. And he's saying that he at first stood by his people. But the more and more he's investigated, he's now starting to say, I'm seeing some cracks in this case. And the fact that a former police officer in the same small city of Canton, Massachusetts, is finding cracks in the case. He is saying this investigation was botched times 1,000. And this is why this case is so fascinating. There are so many issues with this investigation. It would never fly. If you go back and look at how this was, how this kind of case came out, and how this, case was handled. The day that John O'Keefe's body was found in the snow. And if you just watch the documentary, and if you can't watch the documentary, there's many YouTubes that are just covering it for free. But if you go back and see how it was handled that morning, the investigation, how nothing was handled well, they didn't secure the evidence well, they didn't go into the house, they didn't talk to anyone in the house, they didn't interview anyone and record the interviews, they didn't isolate the people, they let all the people that were in the house together kind of confer and talk to each other. They took all the evidence on the ground and put them in red Solo cups. They let the area, the crime scene, kind of go exposed so that people eventually, we think, came there and like dropped off pieces of the tail light. I mean, there's so many ways that Karen was framed, in my opinion. It's so wild. And then it's got all the markings. What I think the biggest shock of it for me is how in the world, in my opinion, how in the world these people were smart enough to be able to frame her. And no one has broken. Because that's, I think, the biggest surprise of the entire case for me, is how no one has broken the entire time. So we can watch just a little bit of this. We're waiting for, we're talking about a couple things before we get into the Blake Lively stories.
Suspected mortal wound procedures. The main thing you try to do is preserve the crime scene, and immediately, in conjunction with that, Billy, you want to do an exigent search for perhaps other victims. In other words, anybody that responded to that scene would have and should have known the Brian Albert's involvement with the Boston police as a fugitive supervisor and gang unit, and any call for service to that house should have brought all the officers on duty that day for anything. Body on the lawn, shots fired, suspicious car, all boots on the ground on the police department working that shift would have responded.
So he's saying that as somebody who knows how they work, knows their policies and procedures, I'm going to try not to touch on the audit as much as I can to save that for the conversation with my dad coming out Monday. He said the word exigent search, just for a point of clarification. I don't believe from anything that we've learned from this case that there would have necessarily been an exigent circumstance where they could have forced their way into 34 Fairview. Meaning you can do that if you hear gunshots inside, or somebody tells you, I saw inside the window, someone is beating up his friend or his wife or their husband or whatever it may be. Then cops can have exigent circumstances to go in there and protect the victim, or to stop a crime. If somebody's cooking drugs inside, they can go inside to stop a crime. Or if they see somebody lighting evidence on fire, to stop the destruction of evidence. There's all sorts of exigent or extreme or pressing, demanding circumstances where you can force your way into a house without a warrant. I don't think they had that here. What they definitely had was a reason to believe somebody inside the house where a body is found on their lawn might have information about what happened. And if they don't, we need to at least cross them off the suspect list and make sure what they're saying is true and be able to confirm what they're saying. So at least a knock on the door. Hey, can we talk to you about this cop's body on your lawn? Maybe, do you know this guy? Were you?
So he's basically the entire interview. And this is a really interesting, just kind of watch the Billy Bush interview, which is a really good interview with the sergeant, but then watch the lawyer, breaking down the interview, and then watch me breaking down the lawyer, breaking down the interview, and then watch someone else breaking down me. I mean, just joking. But why I'm bringing this to you guys is so many of you who came here to Daily Dose of Donna first just for Bravo coverage, and then you came into the Blake Lively, and then now so many of you are saying, I've never heard of Karen Reed, and I just heard you cover it with Molly Dare that one day, who got me into Karen Reed, and now in real time you guys are getting into Karen Reed. Why I'm telling you about this is just so up our alley. If you're into any of this kind of trial stuff, or you're just dipping your toe into the true crime or the trial stuff, this is so unreal. Like, if reality TV is getting a little stale for you or a little boring, this is so unbelievable. And it's unfolding right now in real time, because she's just now entering her second retrial, or her second trial, the retrial. And so why it's so unbelievable is it could happen to any of us. Not saying that any of us are going to have this night that Karen Reed had, where she just drank 7 drinks in like 2 or 3 hours and then drove home, after getting in a huge fight with her police boyfriend who happens to die. That is a crazy, crazy turn of events. But technically, any of these things could happen to someone, and then she's on trial for murder. I mean, it's crazy. So I think it's an unbelievable case, and I'm following it wildly. She is now they're in jury selection. Someone that I'm really following heavily is this woman named Christina Rex. I don't know where my phone is. I thought I brought my phone downstairs, but apparently I left it upstairs, which is really concerning to my brain. I don't know how that's possible. I've never once come down to my office without my phone, but I guess I left it upstairs. So I don't have my phone, but I follow this one girl named Christina on Twitter. She is a great resource, and she posts updates from the courtroom, Christina Rex. And so she says right now, as of this morning, it says out of 45 potential jurors in the Karen Reed trial, let me share this, share her Twitter so you guys can also follow her if you would like. Her name is Christina Rex. As of this morning, it says out of 45 in the courtroom for day 5 of jury selection in Karen Reed's retrial. As of this morning, there are 10 jurors out of 16 that have been seated, 45 people here today for jury duty. Out of 45 potential jurors today in the Karen Reed retrial, 41 of them out of 45 have seen, heard, or talked about the case. Okay, that's not good. So clearly we have a problem. 91% of them have already heard of the case today. As of 1:25 p.m. today, no new jurors have been seated today for the Karen Reed retrial. Another 10 or so left to be questioned today. So I thought they were finding them pretty fast as of last week, but as of today, they have not seated anyone new. So I thought maybe by the end of this week, they would find 6 more people, but we have not seen any more. So who knows? I'm hoping and crossing my fingers that by the end of this week, we'll have the 6 more people and 16 people will be on the jury so that we can start the actual trial, but we don't know. I am dying to know what ends up happening, but we will be following. Okay, let's move on to another story. I definitely want to give me a second because I want to pull this up. You guys, I've been talking about Stay Body, which is the incredible bodysuits that I've been talking about because it's made by a doser. Her name is Stephanie, and she is a doser that found me, and she's like, you will love these bodysuits. So I started wearing them just to see if I like them. Okay, guys, I wore them nonstop on my trip to Chicago. I'm not even joking, and I want to tell you why. Yes, they look great. I'm not wearing one today, but they look great, and I'll bring them down tomorrow. I'm washing them right now, but I'll bring them down tomorrow and I'll show you why they look great. But when you're traveling or when you're on the go, these are the bodysuits to wear. Now, she already told me that so many of you guys already purchased them, like thousands of dollars already went to her because you guys are buying them, which makes me so happy. Okay. But the reason why they're so good, and it's hard to explain without like showing them to you, so I have to bring one, because it's easy to pee in. That's all you need to say about Stay Body. Any other bodysuit loses in this capacity. You don't have to unbuckle anything on the bottom, and you don't have to take off your entire bodysuit to pee. All you have to do, there's like a little back string or whatever, and you just pull it down, and then you can go to the bathroom. So you can be on a plane and you don't have to take your entire shirt off. You don't have to find any like weird little snaps or anything. But it's also got this amazing spandex type of soft material. It sucks you in. It feels good. It's spelled STA, but it's pronounced like stay. It's got coverage. It's got support. It looks good. Long sleeve, short sleeve, all kinds of colors. It's amazing. It doesn't roll up, roll down. But it doesn't like tighten you up and gets the rolls. You guys, I'm telling you, they're my favorite out there. I've tried all the other ones. I've tried, Kim Kardashian's. I've tried the Spanx, all that. This is the one. STA. You're going to use code Daily Dose for 10% off, and you get free shipping with my code. Okay, let me just make sure that that's exactly the code before I give it to you. So STA Body. The code is going to give the listener 10% off. STABody.com. STABody.com. Use code Daily Dose. Okay. www.stabody.com. Go to the website, talk to Stephanie, chat with her there. It's amazing. I'm going to bring the bodysuit tomorrow. Okay. Let's move on to another story. Paige DeSorbo was in the New York Times. I'm waiting for Elsie to come to the show, and then we're going to talk about the Blake Lively. So hold off. Paige DeSorbo was in the New York Times over the weekend. Now, we got to talk about I'm going to pull up my friend Bravo Investigator. Oh, that's so funny. She's the first person that's on my feed. I'm going to be using her her name is Dana. She's a good friend of mine. And I'm going to be using her with a lot of my content today because she posts so much. So I love her. So I'm going to always tell you guys to always follow Dana. Tell her I sent you. So the Bravo Investigator posted the entire article so that we don't have to subscribe to the New York Times because we don't like the New York Times. Remember that? The New York Times is the company that lies about Justin Baldoni. So we don't like the New York Times. They also lie about a lot of things. They're not real. But they spoke to Paige DeSorbo over the weekend, and they did a whole feature on her. And we're going to talk about it. Now, Paige DeSorbo and I have some beef. Just kidding. We don't. But everyone likes to think that we do. If you guys have been around for a long time, you know my obsession with Paige DeSorbo. You know how much I think she's stunning beyond stunning. I think Paige is gorgina. I've loved Paige and Craig as a couple. But Paige, she's turning me off lately. I am getting a little bit off. I am off of Paige because this season on Summer House and Southern Charm, she's coming off very unlikable between her and Sierra and Amanda and all the girls, basically everyone except Lindsay. They all are so unlikable. They hate men. And her personality on Giggly Squad with Hannah Berner, they are so unlikable. They hate men. And I'm not feeling it. So the Bravo Investigator posted the entire article here. And that's why I'm using this, because I don't want to subscribe. This is why I think is interesting, because this article is to promote the Giggly Squad, and also they're coming out with a book. In addition to being this huge tour, but they're also so, they're also doing a book. They're doing all these things for their silly little podcast that Shep likes to say, which is not a silly little podcast. They have a huge podcast and a huge business. Giggly Squad is massive, you guys. I don't think you understand if you don't know about it. Like, it's huge. you may not like it, but it's a big ass podcast. Anyway, so this article is very, very it's a very cute article. It's a very light article. It's very friendly. It's just talking about how she started, how she wasn't really sure what she wanted to do. She was from Albany, New York. She just wanted to be an on-air personality, but she wanted to go to New York. She was nervous. She persuaded her parents to let her go to New York, and then she got a role on Summer House when she was just an assistant at ABC. And she called my dad crying. She goes, I called my dad crying when they offered it to me. I said, I'm actually too sensitive to do this. And he said, do it for the first summer. If you hate it, we'll get you out of it. You never have to go back. And if you love it, you'll never wonder. And honestly, after the second weekend, I was like, I love it. Then it talks about what she's done on her show. She's the antithesis of the modern day reality personality. She has a New Yorker's authenticity, direct, assertive, and unafraid to voice her opinion, even if it might make her look bad. She lacks pretense and showiness, which has earned her fans. She is more like the reality TV stars of yore. Think the first few seasons of The Real World rather than the last few seasons of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, serving up memorable one-liners, not just because they make her good TV, but because that's genuinely her personality. There are occasional missteps, and it talks about her missteps, meaning the like opinions that she's had that are really, really cringe. When she talked about like people's skin color, they just kind of threw that out there. No problem. What you see is what you get. Then it talks about obviously all the positives about Giggly Squad, how she sold out, all these things, all her business acumens. And then it talks about her relationship with Craig. It says the former couple made some pointed remarks about each other on shows that aired in recent weeks. Mr. Conover said on a Southern Charm reunion he was shocked by the breakup, and in a conversation with Sierra on Summer House, Miss DeSorbo asked, "Am I dating a secret hater?" But Miss DeSorbo downplayed the drama between them. Then she says in this article, no one did anything. It wasn't a bad thing. I think we both were just being really mature and saying what we want and what we didn't want. And I think that's extremely powerful to be able to voice how you're feeling in real time and what you want for your future. And then it goes on about how every single the breakup has generated plenty of online commentary and speculation. Every on-camera interaction between the two suddenly became fodder for dissection. She discussed her increasingly busy schedule and how that conflicts with his desire to have her move to Charleston and start a family. She says, if it makes me feel like I'm more and more successful, if I get more and more successful, it's a bad thing. Like if I don't make you the number one priority, I'm going to feel guilty. And then it says the scene is very awkward to watch, etc. But she's downplaying that there's any big drama. She's making it sound like it's very, nothing bad really happened. It's a very chill situation. We're actually very okay with each other. Nothing really big is happening. And, no one really did anything wrong. But this is very confusing because in reality, everyone kind of really saw the opposite. Paige, right after the show, went on a huge press tour about how Craig is this horrible person. And the show, she's making it sound like he did everything wrong. He didn't support her. He's a hater. He's this horrible person. He's this, he did all these awful things. He did, A, B, and C, and D. And so yesterday on my Instagram, all I did was post, well, I'll just show you guys. All I did was post just like, I didn't even post anything of my own. I just posted their own stuff. I'll share it with you. And it will show you guys how confusing it is. I posted the cover of her article. I posted this incredibly uncomfortable, strange looking picture, which I really cannot wrap my head around who told her this picture was okay. Why? A couple pieces of the article. Then I posted this clip.
Performing and like about to go out on stage. So when I started having panic attacks this fall while I was doing Giggly Squad, he just thought it was because I worked too much. So it played into like his like, well, you work too much and you like shouldn't like be doing all of this.
And he never comprehended, oh, maybe I'm contributing to this stress.
No, it would never be his fault. No.
When he told you to watch that doc,
And about the ABBA documentary that, God forbid he gave her a documentary that may help her anxiety. That's such a bad boyfriend. How dare you? How dare you try to help someone? I can't believe you would do such a thing. Then this quote that she says, even if I marry you, my kids are going to come before you anyway, so you'll always be third. And then when she said, nobody is telling men they're losers and that's the problem. And she posted that saying, good morning, start your week off right, which Lance was like, yeah, I would be offended if you posted that. Well, the funniest part about this entire post is that I got a comment, which is my favorite comment, and I have to read it for you guys, saying, your being a boy mom has sadly turned into internalized misogyny. You can want what's best for your boys without turning into an all-woman hater and an all-man defender. Used to like your content, but you really have turned into an ultra-right, all-man apologist. By the way, I say this in the hope that you could take this feedback constructively, because this is what everyone is saying about you too on Reddit. So apparently, even though Paige is saying that she hates all men, me just posting it means I hate all women. So I'm going to just point out to everyone else that I love good women. Like, I am obsessed with the most amazing content creator right now on the streets. Her name is Elsie. She is Fafo and Associates. Elsie,
Hi,
welcome
Donna.
to the show, my friend.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Are you
I
being
was having the
accused-
worst technical difficulties earlier.
Oh, I know you were. I saw you on your live. Wait, Elsie, are you being accused of being a woman hater sometimes? Do you get accused of this shit?
Apparently, I don't have a uterus.
What
Yep.
is going on with these people that just say, oh, you don't like a woman, you hate all women?
I love it for them. Like, what do you want me to do? I love that for you. Like, I love the stress I provide in your life. Because you think I'm walking around here and I'm hoping everybody treats me like crap. No, I treat people the way I want to be treated. I'm nice to people. They're nice to me back. I'm never an asshole. I literally don't pose that question to anybody ever. And I happen to be married to a man and my son happens to be a boy.
I
Like,
know,
what is the
seriously.
confusion here?
It's so strange. The fact that we happen to have boys, by the way, it is your birthday or was your birthday this weekend?
2 days ago. Oh, 3 days ago now.
Happy birthday.
I'm 30. I'm old.
Listen, B,
I'm
you did
joking.
not just come to a 43-year-old.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it would hit you too.
Why are you?
Remember, I hate
18?
women.
You
Remember, I hate women.
and old people.
And old people. I'm an ageist and I hate women.
I can think of so many ways that you've just offended me. You know what?
I know.
If you're out there looking to be offended, you can find ways.
Talk to Stephanie McNeil. She'll write about it. Let her know a mommy sleuth came for another one. We're turning on each other now. We're pouncing. Clip this, Stephanie. Clip this. Show it to your bosses.
The creators.
Maybe she'll get a raise. Maybe she'll get a raise per click.
She'll put it on her TikTok. Has she posted one TikTok since that?
I haven't been back. I forbade myself. I forbid myself from going there.
Now that you're 30, you're very mature.
I learned a lot in the last 3 days. It's like I woke up. First, I checked my gums to make sure like they weren't coming out. I was like, okay, I'm still good. And then I checked everything and I was like, okay, no sagging here. And I checked my brain and I was like, okay, do not give Stephanie McNeil views. Click for me that fast. It was very fast. I'm proud of myself.
I can't get over how phenomenal and psychotically good you are at what you do.
It's scary.
Like, for those that you guys, if you don't remember, I forget how long ago it was. I think it was like a Saturday episode that I had you on my show with Zach.
Yeah.
And you were just kind of like starting to pop off with these amazing finds. And since then, I think you've tripled in size and I'm not fat shaming you. Okay. I didn't mean like that. You've tripled.
Let me get my trainer on the line.
Hold on, Don Saladino, paging Don Saladino. But you were.
It was March 1st. Saturday, March 1st at 3:12 p.m. Hey, it's Donna Bowling.
March 1st, so a little over a month ago. But your followers have like quadrupled. You're so big now, even on YouTube. You're here on YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok. Because I don't understand. It's almost like it's the Mandela effect. Like, you're creating these clips. I don't understand where you're
like,
finding
did these happen or is she coming up with it? Yeah.
I think
I
Ryan
could see
Reynolds
it.
is questioning even if you're creating them. Like he's like, I didn't say
No,
that.
whenever I post, people are like, they must hate. The first people are like, they must hate the TikTok extension. And then they're like, they must hate when they see you post. And I was like, I love the stress I provide for them. Like, I wonder if they go to bed at night. And I was like, God, please don't let her have internet in the morning. God, please don't let, like, do they wonder, like, if I'm going to do something every morning? Or which my drafts are scary. Okay. My draft section is super scary. Sometimes I don't even post. I'm just like, eh. And then sometimes I drop it.
What's wild is they have to go to bed at night thinking like that's gotta be it. Like there can't be more.
There can't be more. I promise you, there is. There always is.
What's interesting is like I understand that right now we're hyper focusing on Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, but every single person from now until the rest of ever has to be worried because no matter who's next on the hot seat is going to be screwed by Fafo and Associates because you're after them. And like anytime I'm going to be into wanting to take someone down or like being into, I'm calling you. Like you're going to be on my payroll now.
You need to hurry up before my fee triples.
No, I'm always I get grandfathered in.
Yesterday's price is not today's price, Donna. You should have put me on retainer back in March when you first got me when I was a nobody. Now, you're lucky I answered your text messages.
Yeah,
I'm super famous now. I'm joking.
Elsie, you didn't even know how to share audio on your YouTube today.
Why would you do that, Donna? Don't do that to me.
I gotta humble you.
I'm like 80. Yo, it's so funny. So over the weekend before my birthday, Andy from Popcorn Planet, super great. He had helped me out with the charity I'm working, which I posted a video. I don't know if you got a chance to see, but my living room literally looks like an Amazon fulfillment center right now, which is great. I love that. But Andy, when I was talking to him and he was like, well, do a wish list. I'm like, well, what is that? And he's like, you go on Amazon and you put a bunch of stuff you want on your list. So I went on Amazon and I thought it could be something I could do in like 10 minutes. So I waited till the morning of our live and I put like 10 things, but I ended up putting it, I guess, in my list. I didn't know you could have your own list on Amazon.
Okay.
So I didn't make a wish list. I had made my own list. And when I sent it to Andy, he was like, girl, what is this? I had like 2 like fire extinguishers, like 2 socks and some pencils. And he was like, he texted me back in caps. I told you to make a wish list. What is this?
So and then you like didn't make enough.
No, apparently I didn't make enough because I sent him like 20 items, to be honest. And he got back to me and he's like, add more quantity. So I did. And eventually we had like, I think 800. By the time we got off his live, people had over shopped. So we had sold out everything. And then they were messaging me, add this, add that. So currently, as of right now, let me check. People have bought 1,300 and people have bought over 1,000 items is all I'm trying to say here.
Wow.
People have bought like, I think 1,379 items and my house looks like a fulfillment center. But Andy had to literally show me how I'm like 80. I don't do technology. Like I'm even surprised how well I do well with research. But when it comes to like, I can't.
But you're doing a really good job. Like you're very good at putting together the editing and the clips and the this and that. Like you're finding. So, okay. So are people sending you these finds or are you just finding them also? How are you finding all these things?
I'll call it 80-20. So before, like when I came on you and Zach, when you and Zach had me, I was doing everything on my own. Like I was staying up through the night, looking up stuff, figuring stuff out, going into weird websites to look up stuff. But since like I was on your show, I would say since like that month of March up until now, I'm waking up to 20 emails, 30 DMs. I'm like, guys, and some of them are like way out there and some of them make sense. And some of them, they don't know where to find it. So somebody would say like, I remember this interview, but I don't know where to find it. So maybe you could go look, then I'll go look. But that's typically like that.
I get so many conspiracy theories and questions and stuff, but I don't know. Like, I'm not the channel that's going to deep dive like these really wild out there. I feel like I should just
send them to me.
I should, because I'm not like, there's certain channels that are really out there going into like these really wild things. I'm just reporting the news. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't want to go into, is it possible that, but you do a really good job.
I'm that girl.
With everything.
But I match it though. I like to match it to Is Elsie's channel in the
Yeah,
description?
Mom
No,
Unscripted
my
is
name is just
asking if her
Elsie.
channel link is in my description. It is. It's in my show notes below. So everyone make sure to follow Elsie and subscribe to her YouTube. And I'll put your Instagram and stuff also on the show notes in a little bit. So let's talk
Thank you.
about for everyone that's here right now, let's talk about what's going on in the news right now. For anyone that's new with Blake Lively this weekend. So much new has happened. Obviously, last weekend I covered all of the motion to dismisses and like what's his name? Brian Friedman's amazing responses to all the motion to dismisses. But then so as of kind of Friday when I was covering it, she had come Brian Friedman had come back to Blake and basically said, "No, good luck. You ain't getting this dismissed for A, B, and C." And I know the Ask Two Lawyers did a great video over the weekend where they really went through that response to the motion to dismiss. So that's kind of covered. Now, you really had some great videos on the donut shop and this hired kid. This in your mind is this hired kid actor that
There's
came.
another one.
Stop. Okay, so for everyone that doesn't know, Blake Lively was at this Connecticut donut shop. Explain the story.
So Blake caught herself trying to be like us regular gals in Levi jeans. She left her $19,000 jeans at home that weekend because at least she listened to her PR on that front. Because could you imagine dipping donuts in $19,000 Balenciagas or whatever she has? So she showed up at the donut shop, if you didn't get a chance to see, with her tresses all the way down, dangling over the donuts.
Vom.
Dipped out in Blake Brown Beauty, because we could tell, because that hair looked like she's saturated in mayonnaise, and caught herself taking pictures with fans. And the story got around very fast because before you knew it, people, New York, I mean, everybody was reporting Blake Brown surprises her fans. And I was like, what fans? And I knew it was fake when there was not one rowdy person in the crowd, because you're telling me all of Connecticut, all of Wilton, Connecticut doesn't have one Justin Baldoni stan? You're lying. Yeah. So already that story was very iffy to me. And then the picture started making its rounds with her and the fans. And one of my associates who work at the firm, because, you know, I'm a lawyer now, messaged me. Because we are not followers here. We're associates. We work together in tandem. They were like, hey, did you see the picture of this kid? And I was like, what kid? It was like 2 a.m. when I got that text. And I was like, I do a lot of my research at night because it's super quiet. The boy's asleep. I can do whatever. And I was like, no. And they were like, well, look deeper. Look at the New York model page. So I got into it. New York kids model. I'm on the page. I'm like, what am I looking for? Then bam, I saw the little boy. And I was like, holy shit. I went back, I found the page. Then before I even knew it, my associate had sent me the page because she was also doing her research. We work overtime here, okay? No wonder they think we're paid because this work is not easy.
Yeah.
So she sent it to me. We compared notes. Is the same boy, but the adult whose name now I have found in the Wilton, Connecticut page is called, her name is Serena Sue, but it's spelled in a very weird way. But her page is private and I'm not doing all that. I'm not going to follow her just to find the info. But the little boy is a model. His name is Ethan C or something like that. So the reason it ticked us off is an adult and a child in a picture. Typically, the child's face is covered. But in this picture, the adult's face is blocked out and the child is cheesing. First of all, what child is a fan of Blake Lively? No child.
No child even knows who she is.
No child knows who she is, especially not with her
kids movie person.
Especially behind a donut counter. With her hair looking like that. It's not like she walked in as Blake Lively with security. So everybody was like, oh my God, Blake Lively. You know what I'm saying? She was behind the counter. That boy would not be like, oh mom, can I take a picture with Serena? He shouldn't be watching Gossip Girl, number one. No movie Blake has done is kid friendly. So why is that boy so enthused to take a picture with Blake? So already my spidey senses were tingling. So we found the picture, but the mom's face was blocked out. And that was enough for me to believe that like this is fake, because the parent's face is literally never blocked out. It should be reversed. But considering he's a model, the mom took the picture, and I know people are justifying and maybe they live in Connecticut. I don't care. No child is Blake Lively's fan.
Listen, I will say, and this is my take on this without knowing anything about anything. I worked with child actors before I did this. You know that, right? Like I used to be a casting director with Disney and Nickelodeon. And then I worked with child actors. I was a acting coach with child actors. No offense to stage moms out there. No offense. acting child actor parents are desperado to give their kids any sort of time in the light, right? So they will do anything and everything to give their kids any sort of fame or, stage presence, like give them anything. So if she did live within driving distance and found out that Blake Lively was going to be somewhere and she thought, oh my God, could I get a picture with Blake? And maybe it would get picked up somehow on the Daily Mail or by Elsie. You know what I mean? This would be something that a child actor's parents would do. Like, it's weird, but I could see.
I mean, I found another boy.
Okay.
I haven't found his course. I found his picture on the Wilton page.
Okay.
He wasn't with a parent or anything, but he's definitely a kid model / actor. But I'm looking for his corresponding Instagram page.
Do you know if they live in, do you know if either of these kids even live in Connecticut?
I have no clue there. There's like, I didn't care enough to look for the information to confirm where they live. All I cared about was the child's profession and the fact that Blake is not past that. Like, I don't put it past her that she would hire a bunch of people to make the crowd friendlier. Because you're telling me there was not one rowdy person in that crowd?
Yeah,
Doubtful.
It's weird. I want to know, and I haven't seen any video of this experience other than a little of her stories, but why is there no video from the outside or from the customer's experience?
I think the customers were vetted, whether it was 10 actors or it was shut down, because we didn't even see like a video from the donut, from the stand section showing how many people are there.
Nothing.
So whether there were 10 people who were vetted to be there or were confirmed to be Blake fans, or did they reach out to people, like whatever it is, it's bizarre. And I don't put it past her.
It is bizarre that you don't see anything from the other side. Okay, so other than the donut shop incident, and obviously, they were vetted by the health department, and that ended up going okay for them. Thank God, whatever, because I kind of did.
Oh, that's done?
Well,
that's
I heard
confirmed?
the health department gave them the all clear, but I do feel bad for them, even though they were idiots.
Yeah,
I heard do that. I did feel bad,
but I think they agreed to it. I'm sure they got some type of compensation, so they knew what they signed up for. Though, I mean, whoever had the time to call the health department, that's wild. Like, I don't have time for that. But I do think when you decided to get in bed with Blake, you knew what she had going on. You should have
just say
prepared.
Get in bed with Blake, and you didn't bring up an intimacy coordinator, Elsie. What? Now you're literally getting sued.
They're gonna clip this part. They're gonna clip this part. It's okay.
So okay. So that's one thing that happened over the weekend. Obviously, we have some child actors going into the donut shop for this good PR. Now, other stuff has happened over the weekend because it never ends with that. You mentioned something about Lady Pool and the fat shaming situation. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anybody's here that doesn't follow me and haven't got a chance to see it, you would have seen this scene because, again, it's made its rounds. And again, you've seen the scene probably before I brought it up, but it wouldn't have clicked for you either because it's where Nice Pool enters. He is running up because the dog jumps into Ryan Reynolds' hands as Deadpool. And he goes, blah, blah, blah. You should see Lady Pool. He just had a baby and you can't even tell. And Ryan says, I don't think you should say that, which we've all come to the agreement. It's making fun of Justin Baldoni, fat shaming Blake Lively. Now, the other turn that I didn't click till this weekend when I was doing my research was the fact that, hold up, that's not Lady Pool. Blake is not Lady Pool. We already know that. Blake is not in that suit. It's Christian Bettridge, the stunt woman. So if you felt your wife was all that and snatched and just had a baby and cute, why wasn't she in a suit? Why did you have a stunt woman in a suit while making a postpartum joke about her actually being snatched when in fact she wasn't?
There's a lot, and my comment to that video was there's so much projection happening in this lawsuit. This whole lawsuit is projection. The sexual harassment while she's sexually harassing everything that she touches. Literally, Blake Lively has sexually harassed like 400 people since we've started this investigation.
Yep.
Allegedly.
Did you get a chance to see the nut grab?
How many times I've seen your nut grab discovery? You discovered that, by the way.
Yes, I did.
That was your discovery.
One of my associates. It was me, except
someone found that and sent it to you?
Someone found it months ago, didn't know what to do with it, so it just sat in their drafts. and was deciding if it was important.
Wow.
So I think I had made a video that they saw and they were like, oh, maybe I should reach out to this girl. So they sent me an email. And funny enough, I was on my, typically I wait till the end of the night to check my emails. But when that person sent me the email, I was literally on my phone. I got to read it and I sent an email back within like a minute. And she got back to me and was like, I'm shocked you even responded. Like, I didn't know you were going to respond. I was just hoping. And I was like, girl, I don't play about the associates. Like, I take the info very seriously. And she says it could be nothing. And whenever when they say it could be nothing, that's when I really think it's something. But when they're like, I got something, I'm like, lies. Let me see. So she sent me the email. She didn't send me the video right away. We actually got on the phone and talked. She vetted me for like an hour to make sure like she trusted me and like I wouldn't put her information out there. It's an associate of mine, but like she doesn't want nothing to do with nothing. Like she wants me to refer to her as America is love. And I hope she sees this and she feels the shout out. But she like we talked on the phone for like an hour. Like me and my husband were waiting to eat dinner. We had to put it off. I was like, turn the stove off. We're not eating now. Go over there. And I didn't know if she was a crazy person either. So I actually called her like a fake phone number. And then after I was like, okay, I'll give you my real phone number now that I know you're a real person. And she's a doctor of the minds, and she has somewhat diagnosed Miss Thing. I'm not going to share that here, but like we talked for an hour, we agreed like it was. So then she sent it to me. Then I watched while we were on the phone and I was like, crap, this is big. This is good.
Yeah.
And then because like it was like a recording of a recording, I was like, I don't know how it's going to look as far as like, you know, copyright and everything. It still got copyrighted, but like the message got out there. It's fine.
Yeah.
Then she sent it to me and gave me, I needed a passcode. She sent it through like an encrypted way. I needed a passcode to open it and everything. It was very, very CIA-ish. I felt good. I was like, yay.
Yeah.
Then I got it out and I made that video like 5 a.m. the next day because I was like, I'm not sitting on this. Like I want to get it out the way. I want to get it done. Yeah.
It was such a discovery, the Henry Golding and the nut grab, because what that was, see, a lot of these other things that people are finding of things she said at different interviews or things she's done, they're interesting and they're like character assassinations.
Yeah, this one was it.
This was exactly a mirrored example of what she is describing Justin Baldoni did to her, but exactly her doing it and her admitting her doing it to another man on a different movie. And so if she is saying it out loud and proud of her doing it, then now she has to be able to say, oh shit, I can't sue someone for doing something the exact same thing I did. Now I'm dying to know what Henry Golding thinks of the entire nut grab experience. Have we heard a thing about anything from him?
Not a thing, but it is curious that he doesn't follow Blake Lively on social media. And it's also, he doesn't. And it's also curious. He did an interview after that situation where, you know, he doesn't specifically mention the situation, but he talks about how his wife, because he was recently married at that time, very newlywed at that time. And he talks about how his wife is finding it a little bit difficult, like this change in lifestyle. Because Henry Golding was like, not an investigative journalist, but he was like a broadcaster in the UK. He was doing like tours and travel shows with the BBC. And then Crazy Rich Asians was his first movie, which is wild to say. A lot of people didn't know that. A Simple Favor was his second movie, which he filmed before Crazy Rich Asians even came out. So he wasn't Henry Golding. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was like, and I think Paul Feig talks about John M. Chu, who is a director of Wicked, directed Crazy Rich Asians, and kind of just gave Paul Feig a call. Was like, I just worked with this guy. He's great. And they probably work for their budget because they could probably lowball him. I don't know exactly how that works, but Paul Feig pretty much said he took a chance on him. So, and I have an interview, I have a video I'm posting later, maybe today or tomorrow, where, and then people have probably seen it by now, it's not breaking news, where Anna Kendrick and Blake are talking about how they were trying to make him uncomfortable. They were trying to keep him on his toes. So while now Blake's representatives, so we haven't heard from Henry to answer your question, but Blake's representatives have gone out of their way to say it was discussed with him and discussed with Paul Feig. Well, we know Paul Feig is going to back Blake, so he cancels himself out. And Henry was new on the scene. I want to reiterate that. It was only his second movie. He hadn't done anything before. Who is he to say no if Blake wants to grab his nuts? I'm sorry. Like, he's not going to say no. Like, he doesn't even know what his, like, limitations are.
But that's the whole power grab, right? Literally and physically.
Literally.
But it's that whole power dynamic on set. And it's everything we're talking about. Like, if Blake Lively, this powerful woman, I mean, and this newer actor is coming into a movie and this woman is like, I want to grab your nuts. You're not going to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's like my private parts. You're gonna be like, okay.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
uncomfortable. So
I'm
uncomfortable.
like, I saw that. I saw them trying to justify it by saying, Blake's folks like talk to Henry's folks. And my answer to that is I don't care. He's new. It's a second movie. He's not saying no to that. And you can even see like he looked so like jarred when it happened in the scene. Like it was like,
Yeah.
oh God. And then Paul Feig is sitting there laughing about how, yeah, can you do it again? Can you do it a little harder?
Paul Feig. I've really turned on Paul.
But who's like, can you grab it again? Can you do it again? And
He
then we
probably
went
was
into
like bang bang.
you know what I'm saying?
Cat. He's so cheap.
With the fringes.
He
He's so
drives
sus.
me
Like,
nuts.
yes.
And
then he
since
talks
that,
about
like the premiere and then his wife
yeah.
and them like losing their shit, like they are
pretending to be a
weird.
fan is crazy. She blocked me, so I'm famous. I know they know me. I know, like not
sure
for nothing, they know me.
For
I
sure
made
they
it.
know you.
I definitely
Everyone
made
knows
it.
you.
If you don't, what are you doing? I mean, I was saying this morning, I was gonna do a video over the weekend to thank people. I did a video thanking people for 10K, like I did a post. And then I realized I have 11K like 3 days ago. And now I'm almost at 12K. I'm like, guys, I can't do these thank you videos every week. Like, we're gonna need to sparse it out every 3 weeks. Thank you, because I can't do it.
Okay. Week. Okay. Is your head getting too big? Should we unfollow you, my Elsie? Guys,
bit.
Stop subscribing. It's too hard.
Stop. It's so hard. Life is hard.
She's growing too fast. Wait, stop.
No.
Are you saying harder, just like Blake?
Yes. Yeah, just like Buffy. Yeah. Unsubscribe harder, guys. No, I told my husband I'm just gonna make a bunch of videos in my album. Thank you for 12K, thank you for 13K, and I'll just post it every week. I'll just be like, oh,
worry,
great,
Elsie.
we get to 13.
Don't worry. I'm sure very soon you're gonna find a reason for people not to like you, just like me. It's gonna happen.
It's coming.
It's gonna happen. It ebbs and
Oh,
flows.
Christina, stop it. Christina said
She says unfollow. Just kidding.
Okay.
So
okay.
Wait, Elsie, let's continue and talk about this whole idea of there's another thing that Blake Lively stepped in this weekend, which was this whole idea. They're claiming that this whole idea of like perjury. Have you seen this big thing about it?
I mean, I've said she's been perjuring herself from day one, which is why I've been asking for jail time. I definitely think she needs to see the inside. I find it incumbent that she sees the inside of a prison cell.
Well, what do you know about it? Let's talk about this really fast, because this is what people are saying is like a big smoking gun and how she could really, really get screwed in this lawsuit.
And I don't know if you're referring to the same thing I'm referring to, but I think she changed her language as far as the nudity. I don't know if that's what you're referring to.
Well, why don't you tell me what you're thinking and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. So she brought up in her first suit or whatever, she brought up the fact that she was almost nude. Like what happened? Did I lose you?
Yeah, your video is gone.
You can.
I see you, but I hear you, but I don't see you. See, that's what happens when you talk about yourself so positively.
Am I back?
Yeah, like literally, someone was like, "Oh, you think you're that all that?" I'm
Bye.
gonna show you. The video gods are gonna be like.
Okay, I'm back. No, so there is this part of her lawsuit where she talks about the birth scene and how she was pretty much left to be nude. Yep. And I think she says Justin hired his friend, who actually is very, very credited to be the OB. You remember that part of her lawsuit? And now in their new claim, she submitted this new like 800-page document, like just blabbering over. And pretty much now she says she was like, she felt, or she was like, now she's not claiming she was nude or she felt harassed or whatever. Like that was a feeling she has. Like they're kind of going back to cover their ass in a way. I don't know if I can say that on here. I already did. So
okay,
sorry,
it's okay.
So I don't know if that's the portion you're referring to, but now they're kind of going back and like re-saying certain things in a way that gives them cover. Like, oh, I didn't say I was nude. I said I felt nude, even though I had on briefs and everything. You've had 4 children. And then she said something about the OB was too close to her privates. You've had 4 kids. Where was your OB when they were delivering your 4 kids? Like, were they in the back room waiting to catch, or were they down there? Like, you're an actress. Like, it baffles me how a person cannot understand.
Oops.
You've had 4 children. That's how an OB works.
Yeah.
They go down there and they catch the child and they come out. But you making it seem as though, and it doesn't matter if the person Justin hired was off the street. It was a job. They showed up to do the job. And I need her to decide, do they think you're fat or does everybody want you? Because on one end, they called me fat. They said I'm unattractive. They said I'm this and that. On the other end, it looks like they all want me. Like they're coming near my private parts and they're doing this. Which one is it?
Well,
Are
it
you
depends.
fat?
It's whatever satisfies her in
relaxed?
that moment. It's like she can't
It's-
make up her mind about her story because she can't decide which story she wants to tell. It's exactly that conversation she had, I believe, with Jimmy Fallon that one night when she was like, she
Mhm.
thought someone said like, "I love your tweets," but it was she
Love
was
your
like, "Wait,
tweets.
why don't you love my tweets?"
They're just like, well, what about those? Those
Yeah.
are great too. I'm
How
like,
dare you say that?
well,
Wait, why don't you love
which
them?
one?
Yeah.
It's very bizarre.
Well,
So I don't know if that's what you're referencing.
that's part of it. There's a lot of that. So what I thought was really interesting was and so Without a Crystal Ball is a content creator who posts a lot of these like findings.
Yes, I've
too.
seen her. Yeah.
And they're some of them I take, and some of them I'm like, oh, this is like a little bit too far for
Some
me.
are out there.
Yes,
Yeah.
some are out there. There's no question. But this
Yeah.
was actually kind of interesting, and I'll post I'll just explain. So basically, a follower of hers apparently requested an FOIA, which now I can't remember what that stands for. Now I don't remember what FOIA stands for, but basically maybe like a copy of it or something of her CRD complaint. Like basically a filing of the CRD complaint, a copy of it. And
Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah. Thank you. And it's a copy of the complaint. And basically it says that she refused to file the complaint herself under the penalty of perjury. So basically, instead of putting it under the penalty of perjury, which means putting it under like an oath of the truth,
that she would have to agree to, yeah.
That she would have to. Instead, her attorney filed the complaint and
which she can say she didn't know about.
She believed it to be true and not that it was true. Using belief is a legal loophole to avoid perjury.
Yeah.
So her complaint was not at all verified or reviewed by the CRD in any capacity. In fact, it says a letter to Ezra Hudson, which is her attorney, states, be advised that the CRD, the California, the Civil Rights Department does not review or edit the complaint form to ensure that it meets procedural or statutory requirements. So Blake waived an investigation, and the CRD didn't even review her allegations to determine if they met the criteria for sexual harassment. They did not do any determination at all. It refused to serve any of the parties because of the waiver of the investigation and told her attorney that she would have to serve Wayfarer and the parties. Instead of serving the parties with the complaint, Blake Lively gave the complaint to the New York Times. The CRD document was not a legal filing. It was not a legal complaint. No one from CRD ever reviewed to verify if the complaint met standards to sue. This could be why Brian Friedman is so confident in the case against Blake Lively. Lively willingly avoided investigation at all turns. She refused to file a formal HR complaint, then went to CRD, and they never even read her document. The complaint she filed was unnecessary and all for PR. By denying an investigation by CRD, Wayfarer was denied a right under the law to provide a counter narrative to her claims. And here is the letter that states that Ezra was the complainant and not Blake Lively. And I'll show it to you guys. Here we go. It says, I, Ezra Hudson, am the attorney in the above entitled complaint. I have read the foregoing complaint and know the contents thereof. The matters alleged are based on information and belief, which I believe to be true. On December 20th, I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of state of California that the foregoing is true and correct. So Blake wasn't even part of it.
Yeah, so I knew that part. Once you started reading, that's when I realized is that so the CRD typically, once you submit something to them, they offer you an investigation. They're like, we're gonna look into this for you. Pretty much, we're gonna do this for you. But old girl was like, I don't want it, and they give you the right to sue. Now, however, the right to sue is for a year. They give you it has like an expiration date for 1 year. But typically, people who void the investigation are people who are ready to go into lawsuits right away. But she never did that either. She didn't file till the streets started looking at her like, what are you talking about? This doesn't make sense. And then she had to quickly sue. And then you add in the whole Jed Wallace of it all. So when the CRD complained, a lot of people don't know, you don't need to be factual. You can pretty much embellish. You can do whatever you got to do. Then they're going to investigate. Then we get to lawsuit. That's why CRDs are normally not taken as seriously until after investigation. What she did with Jed Wallace is throw him in there. She pretty much was like, let me throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And when Jed Wallace was like, don't put me in this, I'm suing you. And then she's like, you know what? Now I'm going to sue you back. And she's reacting to stuff.
And the Jed Wallace of it is so interesting. And I want to talk about that because Jed Wallace got thrown under the bus in the CRD complaint. His name got completely defamed. If you Google Jed Wallace, now officially he comes up as Blake Lively smear campaign, as this astroturfer, as this horrible, like bad operator, when in reality, I don't know if he's a bad guy or a good guy, but he's saying, I have all of these receipts that I had nothing to do with what you're claiming I did. Yes, I was reached out by your people or by It Ends With Us. I'm sorry, by Wayfarer and Melissa Nathan, but I never actually did anything. They didn't.
He just told them to monitor. He just told them to monitor the situation. He said, I don't even want your money. Just monitor the situation. Don't jump on anything. And you pulled him in this.
Yep. And now you're claiming that I did. Now officially you've defamed me. I'm going to sue your ass because you didn't even sue me. And I can't even defend myself now in court. So now I'm going to sue you with all my receipts. And she came back at him. And then what did she do over the weekend in terms of doxing?
So while they were trying to serve Jed Wallace documentation, he didn't, they couldn't find him right away to serve him. But then he had this like medical stuff. So we know the protective order that came out protects the medical information of all the parties. Everybody is getting the medical information. But Blake and her people thought it would be smart to release documentation and then call Jed Wallace out directly by saying, you avoided us at all costs and at all turns when we try to like serve you your summons. And then you want to claim you had like heart attacks or you want to claim like you had some sort of heart problem, which is completely unethical. Totally. And some people are calling that a HIPAA violation. It's not HIPAA simply because, you know, Blake is not Jed Wallace's doctor or nurse or medical professional, but technically like it's unethical, especially after the judge told you can't do that. But they're going to cover themselves under the fact that I don't know that Jed Wallace's lawyer was on that call that they had. I can't remember now, even though I was on that call, I can't remember. But how dare you ask for protections that everybody's now getting? Like that's this man's medical information. And now, like, if people didn't like you already, this is enough not to like you. Why? We didn't need to know he had a heart attack or he had heart problems because of this case. This case is stressful, especially when you're innocent. Do you see Justin's haircut? That's a stressful haircut. Like, people are going through it.
It's so wild. And also it feels incredibly just his haircut.
It's so stressful.
I just like got that. Yes. I don't love the haircut. And people were mad.
I don't love it.
They were like, don't get mad at Justin.
Love it. His biceps look great.
I'm like,
his
I'm
arms
sorry.
look
I can still judge his haircut. He looks like, I don't know. He looked like Aladdin or something. It didn't work for me. It wasn't a good look.
Well.
But I just think that her everything that Blake, every way that Blake operates, and now this is going to go towards her legal team as well, and her PR, and now her husband also. It's rules for thee, not for me.
100%.
Or rules for me, not for thee, or whatever. Which one?
Do as I do.
Always that way with them, and I can't stand it. I can't stand people like that.
Do as I say, not as I do. Don't copy me. Don't do what I'm doing. Just do what I tell you, though. But if you see me do it, you don't have the right to do it. What works for me doesn't work for you, pretty much. I saw somebody put in your comments that Shasti Flaw says she has an insider who says the nut grab is definitely going to be used in the document in the court.
Oh, really?
That would be great.
Listen, it should be used in court, the nut grab.
100%.
That is the best. What we were saying, that's the only, like, out of all these previous experiences that we're coming out with, all these old interviews and stuff, what I was saying, it's all really interesting for the court of public opinion, but can it be really used in court? Is it admissible in a court defense? I think the only one that really is the Henry Golding, because it's exactly, it's showing. Yeah. It's like a very mirrored. So that is a huge find.
Yeah. As soon as I posted it, like somebody, I think the first comment I saw, somebody was like, I mean, this has to be it, right? Like with everything that people are finding. And like you're saying, some of them are just for fun and for kicks and giggles and just to kind of show the character of the person. But when I saw that video, and again, I was on the phone with the person for 1 hour, I looked at my husband, I was like, this is it. Like, I feel like this is the one thing. You can use the rug pull from the Vogue interview, her, you know, of her saying, I get hired as an actor and I go in and I purposefully try to steal movies from people. And I'm paraphrasing. But I mean, that was another one, just to, if the jury doesn't know. But I was listening to you earlier talking about the Karen Reed case, as well as them talking about how they can't pull a jury because like 90% of people have heard about the case. Can you imagine when we get to jury selection in this case? I want to know what jury is really going to sit there and be like, I know nothing, Your Honor. Like, you're a liar and a half.
Well, you know what? It's
Like,
actually,
the jury's going to
you'll be surprised how many people don't know anything about this.
You think?
We think that
By the time we get to jury selection in this case?
So it's such a weird world we live in because we're in such a bubble. But I was just in Chicago speaking at Podcast Movement, which is like a big podcast convention. And on stage, I was talking and I was like on a panel about podcast monetizing. So I wasn't like in a pop culture event or anything. And I was talking to this group of people and I was like, okay, so I talk about reality TV, pop culture, and celeb gossip. You know, like reality TV, like Housewives, and there was like, yeah, and Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, and it was like three people, like, yeah, and I was like,
what?
Guys, Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, literally, like the majority of people don't really know a lot about it.
That's so weird. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because I think the case is going to be in New York. They live in New York. Again, to me, for them leaving New York to go to Connecticut to do their PR stunts tells me like maybe New York might be a little too hot for them right now. Maybe too many people know their business. But I would find it I would love and again, I think that's another reason I think they keep pushing for a jury trial. Like they always say jury trial. I think they're hoping to appeal that. Whatever the decision comes back, they're hoping to say, Your Honor, the jury was already poisoned. You know, like they were picking, you know, it was the fruit of the poisonous tree. Like no jury is going to be honestly, I mean, unless I'm hoping you're right and somehow, or maybe I should move to New York now and get on the jury.
That's why, sure. Like you're going to be able to get away with it.
They're going to see me like, absolutely
somewhere.
Maybe I'll get my blonde wig.
You put on glasses. What? You have to change your accent. Find a way to speak differently.
Of course. I can do it.
Oh my God.
I just moved from England. Yeah. I do a great British accent. Can I do it for the rest of the show?
Elsie.
Yeah, I'll do it. Is it good? Can you hear me? Let me have a sip of water. Let me have a sip. We sound like the children of the corn.
What are you talking about, Elsie Rich? I don't even
Good
know.
day, Mike. Good day, Mike. Would you like a pop? A little cuppa. I'll have a cuppa.
Did you say your name was Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds? You have a twin called Gordon. Gordon Reynolds.
In a movie once.
We were carnivorous, remember? Mom, Dad used to eat people. We ate our little sister, right? He said it, not me. We burned down our elementary school too, you know. We can't find the evidence, but it happened. Somebody said, Donna, no, just no.
Okay, listen, I just...
You come back, Donna, come back. Donna sounds Australian. That's what I was going to say.
Oh my God. Okay. Wait.
You sound like you're from Perth.
We have to. Okay, wait. I'm gonna test you now on one more story before we're done with the day because I promised my audience that we were going to talk about this, so we have to talk about this one. Okay.
Okay. I'm still British though, if that's fine.
You're going to be British for the rest of this one. So, do you know who Gabby Windey is?
Absolutely not. Who's that?
Okay. Okay, we're going to act like you are my husband and I'm telling him a story. You guys, I need to ask, this goes back to like hating on women because now you're going to think I'm hating on women. This is a girl who just was on the Traitors. Okay. Her name is Gabby and she was a bachelorette, but now she's gay. Okay. She's a woman who's a lesbian and she just won the Traitors and she was also on Dancing with the Stars and she's really funny. And she was on a podcast and she was talking about a former bachelor and she made fun of his dancing. And now they're calling her out for being a bully. And I want you to see the clip. She was on the podcast. Do you know any of these people? Like, what were you doing before Blake Lively? What were you talking about? What were you watching?
Oh, a lot of TV shows. I watch a lot of
no,
911.
Elsie, you have to come back. You have to come back.
No, I love this. Today's Monday morning British accent. I love it.
You're like,
Elsie asked Donna to take a piss. Are you taking a piss, Donna? Are you dark? Like, I know this. Are you taking a piss? Don't do this,
I
Donna.
seriously feel like you sound like Britney Spears. Like, you're freaking me out.
No way. Britney. It's Britney, bitch. Is that how she says it? I'm trying to do my American accent. It's Britney, bitch. Did that sound American? Did that sound like a Yank? Did that sound like a
Elsie is
Yank?
so much calmer when she's British.
Right? Nancy Drew would know.
Oh my God, this is Bring Back Elsie.
I am here, guys. I am. I have to just be
maybe
demure.
Elsie has a personality disorder and we just don't know.
I do. How do you think I get away with all the research? Do you think I could do that and be normal? No, I have to separate.
We're going to watch the clip of Gabby on Las Culturistas podcast, which is Bowen Yang from SNL and Matt.
I love Bowen.
Okay. And Matt, what's his name? Matt Rogers. I have my own thoughts about those two. Did you hear them talk about Justin Baldoni once and Blake Lively?
Oh no, I only know of Bowen from Wicked when he was the friend to Ariana.
Let me find the clip of Las Culturistas talking about.
Elsie, did you learn this while at uni this past year? You're both hilarious. Need your comedy show. Oh, that's so sweet. Love it. No, I learned it when the Queen colonized my people because I'm African, but I'm from Ghana and I was colonized by the British.
You're kidding me. You're killing me. You're killing me. You got to stop. Elsie, stop.
Somebody says seriously, come back.
I have to take you off this podcast. People are going to get bad reviews. Okay, come back. Okay, and 3, 2, 1. Elsie.
Am I back?
Oh my God.
I'm a character, Donna. You should know this by now. Okay, I'm back. Blah, 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 blah.
It
takes a minute,
Toddler.
No, it takes a minute to come out. Oh, I'm back.
Elsie, come here and come back. Elsie, I want to watch you.
Here.
So the first time I heard Las Culturistas, the podcast that Gabby is on, that I'm going to show you in a minute, the reason why I heard them talking about Blake Lively is because there's a Blake Lively apologist, like this girl out there that does these reels. This was like a month or two ago. And she came up on my feed and she posted this clip of Las Culturistas talking about Blake Lively or Justin Baldoni in like such a pro Blake Lively way. And I was like, ew, I did not like it. So I just found the girl's reel. Let's watch it. This girl is very team Blake Lively. So obviously she's not our friend. Okay. We don't love this girl, but I just want to show you I just want to show you what Las Culturistas said about Blake Lively here.
Wednesday on the Las Culturistas podcast, Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang spoke a little bit about the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively saga, and I'm pretty happy with what their take was. Here's a clip from the podcast.
There's certainly been bad behavior on both sides, sure. But I am tending to side with Blake in this situation for the most part because the Baldoni stuff is like he's like suing like his old publicist now for like releasing the text to the Times. And like, it seems like there's more stuff, there's more tracks being like covered up on the Baldoni side. There are a million lawsuits now flying around for so much money. It's so insane. The New York Times is involved. All these PR firms are involved, etc. Here's the real truth. You can be an asshole. It's not against the law. No. What's against the law is, paying people in order to bury someone, defamation, sexual harassment on set. Like this type of thing is like against the law. Yes. So he can prove a million ways to Sunday that she's a fucking asshole. Right. But that's not against the law. But it's not against the law. And so basically he may have to pay based on stuff that like, I'm sorry, but Megan Twohey, a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist at the New York Times, like pretty much proved in that piece. Right. You can't really dispute the fact that he paid extremely expensive publicists to destroy her. Right. And that it worked. It worked. And I think what he is kind of violently retaliating against is this image that he's built up of himself as being this like feminist and like this advocate for women. But she can do all that stuff. She can assert control over the movie. She can swing her dick. She can bring in her famous friends. She can have her husband get involved in all this stuff. Like it's not against the law. Exactly. The way that he acted probably was against the law. Right. So, okay, thank you, because I'm going kind of crazy being like, well, they're both awful. And I'm like, well, but one is like, he contacted his PR and said, you know, let's turn the narrative against her in such a crazy way that like we bury her and destroy her. And you can bring up all this stuff of her being a little bit of a jerk to these, you know, journalists, like, you know, saying this kind of thing. Like there's an old video of her talking about how she did blackface, etc. Like it's like you can unearth all of this stuff. You're not proving that she is a criminal.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, no, thank you. What?
So clearly, the Bowen and his friend have never read a document in their life. They're making their podcast based on pro Blake Lively TikTokers.
Well, I hate
because they did not
it.
state one fact.
I'm gonna do like a blanket statement right now, okay? And I'm against blanket statements, but there's like a group of people out there that are so scared to go against women.
So weird.
They're petrified to ever go against women, that they will literally hitch their wagon on women and against men until the end of time. Because they're, and I'm like, can we start listing how many women have like committed severe crimes, have killed their own children, have like, you know, like horrible things.
Sherry Papini
have slept with their students, like done horrible things. Why are we just like blanket believing women? This is like such a sick thing.
It's very bizarre. And I mean, the more I listen, like everything they said sounded like a TikTok. I didn't hear them state one fact. It's like, oh, blackface. Okay, great. Maybe she's an asshole. Great. There's nothing. They did not bring up one document. They did not make one factual statement. And then they're like, Megan too, we appeal to. Okay, did you read the fact that New York Times is not trying to say Blake lied to them? Did you see that part where they actually didn't fact check anything?
Yeah.
I'm like, are you making your podcast based on TikTokers? And obviously a pro Blake person would sit behind it and do this and say, I completely agree.
And
of course
like,
you do. Yeah, like, what are you doing?
Okay,
that's very bizarre.
So and that was a few weeks ago. So and maybe that was before the more stuff has come to light. But then do another podcast and say, listen, we kind of like spoke at a turn, and now new things have come to light, which of course they won't, because God forbid you ever go against a woman. Meanwhile, the reason why I'm bringing them up and that, because I wanted to connect Elsie to Gabby Windey, who is now this former bachelorette who's very popular right now. She's like top of the popularity chart. She's been on Traders. She's very funny. And she was on their podcast Culturistas over the weekend or last week. And these are the guys. I'm going to just show you this little clip. And people are saying that she was a bully because she's making fun of the guy that she was on The Bachelor with. She was the final two with The Bachelor. And Clayton has been involved in like this whole other lawsuit situation. He's gone through a lot, and now he's taken up dancing. Actually, this is just a good moment to show you. Hold on. I'm just going to show you Clayton's dancing just so that you can kind of see. This is Clayton. Here, I don't know a lot about him, but like he's doing all these dancing reels, okay? This is him. You're seeing it, right? Like he's just like, he's into dancing. I don't follow him.
Vibing.
What?
He's vibing. He's trying.
Yeah, he's having fun.
Here.
I guess like some people think it's cringy, but I'm like, okay, who cares? He's enjoying it.
Okay.
He's a former bachelor, and he has a podcast. He was just like involved in this horrible paternity suit that he's like now kind of free of. He's had a tough run, and he's enjoying dancing. Big deal, right? No big deal. Okay.
I don't see the problem here. What? Well, so what's the news? Because I don't get it.
This is what happens when Bowen and Matt talk to Gabby about it.
Oh, Lord.
Hold on.
We'll make you run. I'm going to send you one, and you wish you didn't have eyes.
They asked her about the dancing, and she goes, I'm going to send you a video about it. It will make you run. It's going to make you wish you didn't have eyes. Basically.
Does she have eyes? Why is she wearing those? Does she just have LASIK or something? What is going on? What happened? Like, I'm confused. Does she have eyes? I'm so confused. Did I leave? I left. I'm back. Am I back?
No. I can't. Does she have eyes?
I'm so confused by her. Like, what is that? It looks like what they give you when you have LASIK.
It's really bad.
Like sunglasses. To come home. What is that thing?
They're really horrible sunglasses, but she is funny. But
maybe she
really
doesn't have eyes.
Okay, let's keep going. Hold on.
I can fall in love with this toe. Look
Yeah,
You know, skinny jean wearing. This is my guy.
So I debated responding to this because sometimes I feel it's unnecessary, but this is the second interview I've been sent in the last couple of weeks from Gabby, making comments about me online. And, you know, I used to be a people pleaser and didn't want to upset anybody, so I'd keep my mouth shut. But I don't believe that anymore in doing that. And I'm not that way. Thankfully, through healing and going on this journey with my dancing, which has brought so much self-love and self-confidence that I'm truly so grateful to have found something that I get to work on myself every day and challenge myself. And I'm not the greatest at it, and I'm aware of that. I'm not delusional, but it's me versus me every single day I get in that studio, and it's movement therapy. It's allowed me to release a lot of my anger and frustrations, and sometimes me and my instructor staff just chat for half the time that we are there. So dance has done so much for me. And the cool thing is that not only has it brought me self-love and self-confidence, but it's inspired other people to, you know, get the courage to step out of their comfort zones and try something new, because it's never too late to try something new. So it's harmless, you know, and I know I'm not the next big dancer. I'm just doing what's fun, but I have to stand up for myself. And that's why I'm making this video. Gabby, what you're doing is bullying. There's no other way around it. You're attacking me for my physical appearance. You're attacking me for a passion that I love that's changed my life. It's unnecessary, and it's not funny. And you know, videos with like what you make where you comment, you have such a large platform and you're setting a really bad example, which is just disheartening to see that you have this big of a platform. This is how you choose to use it. So I'm standing up for myself because I think it's just the right thing to do. And I don't want people to be scared to try something new because bullying online, like what you're doing, impacts them in a way which stops them. So do better, Gabby. I'm getting, again, this isn't lighthearted. I don't want to hear this whole, oh, just relax, it was a joke. It's not a joke. I haven't talked to you in 3 years, and you continue to take shots at me, and it's just unnecessary.
I have to say, well, your thoughts without knowing who these people are.
I'm not sad. It didn't make me sad or anything. I'm kind of proud that he didn't just take it. And you can tell like that dance is doing numbers for him. Cause I would have cussed Gabby out. I would have went in my bag and cussed her out. But he kind of in a kind way told her to shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? But like, to me, did they date? You're saying they dated, those two back in the day?
Well, they were on The Bachelor together, and I didn't watch the season, but he was the Bachelor and she was the runner up. And then she ended up getting her own season, but now she's gay and married a woman.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But she's like really popular and she's doing really well in her career. So it's like, why is she taking those shots at him?
She needs to go lie down on somebody's couch and touch some grass and something, because he literally looks like the man is moving his body. He looks like he's needed to move his body for a long time, and he's finally figuring it out. And he just said, like, it's making him figure out who he is. He's loving himself more. And it is bullying. She could have made a joke without it being mean. She could have been like, have you guys seen him dancing lately? Oh my God, it is so funny. I'll show you. You could have said that. It's funny. He could have probably agreed that it's funny. But to say that like it's going to make you wish you didn't have eyes when you barely have eyes with your glasses on, I'm going to come at you, Gabby. I don't know you from nowhere. But like it was unnecessary. And he says he hasn't spoken to you in like 3 years. Like, what's the beef there? I don't get it. Like, what beef do you have with him? He seems so sweet. And I don't know him from Adam. I don't know what his history is. But like, I hate when people try to say, you know, we're hating on Blake or bullying Blake. No, I'm quoting Blake to Blake at all times. I always have receipts. I'm never saying something she's never said or done. I'm literally quoting her to her. So when people like say allegedly or like, I'm not saying allegedly. It's not my opinion. It's a fact. You just heard her say it. I'm repeating it back to you in a funny way. So that is so rude. He seems so nice.
I know he seems so nice. Honestly, he
That
seems like such a kind, sweet dude that like I really honestly like I don't know him, like I said, and I actually really like Gabby and Lance. My husband worked on Dancing with the Stars when Gabby was there, and I asked, I was like, was she a good person? Because some of the stars are assholes, and he said no. She was honestly like the nicest. She was great. So I wonder if this is a case of someone just getting a little too big for their britches and getting a little too ego, like you know, maybe. Like Elsie, like you. We have to humble you. Everyone unfollow Elsie immediately. Just kidding. No, but that makes me wonder, like, is that one of those things where, you know, the more popular you get, you feel like a little too cool for school. But it's just it's interesting, and I wonder if a man would do that to a woman. Can you imagine a man saying, "Have you seen that girl dancing?" Like, ew, you would
Lawsuit.
not have eyes.
Lawsuit.
Well, if it was Blake,
Quickly.
we would be in jail.
Very quick. And I'm sure what's his face from Wicked? I forget his name now because I'm so angry. Yeah, Bowen and his friend will probably agree you should sue, because according to them, Justin should go to prison or something. That's very bizarre that she would do
Justin
that.
should get his balls cut off.
Yeah, and she seemed very vindictive in her. I was watching her, and there was like she didn't even emote. Like it was very. She seemed very almost like she's angry.
She's an odd person.
That's just what she looks like at all times.
Yeah, she's like no emotion. Also,
That's wild. I don't trust people who do that. That is so scary to me because I emote a lot.
Maybe we need to like do more Gabby conversation.
Let me see for 5 minutes straight.
Okay.
She needs to emote a lot. No, I can't. See, even I'm smiling.
You can't smile. Just
in a British accent. I'm gonna do it in a British accent.
Why don't we just do
maybe.
Wait, so Patricia and many people say, I agree, Donna and Elsie need to do a regular show, great chemistry. But we have to talk like this. Stop laughing.
Anne-Marie, your mod, who is a Brit, said I was a better Brit than her.
She's actually Scottish, and she's coming from Scotland. I'm doing it wrong.
She's Scottish. From Scotland.
She's coming from Scotland for Dosers Live. Elsie, can I get your ass to LA in August to be a special guest at Dosers Live, maybe?
Who's buying the ticket? And is it first class?
Can we do a GoFundMe?
Possibly, because girl, I stopped flying coach a long time ago. Since I turned 30, I don't fly coach no more.
Oh, I'm sorry. From 2 days ago?
From 3 days ago. I decided I'm never going back there.
Okay.
Anne-Marie, you think I can get a job at Scotland Yard? I know Scotland Yard is not Scottish. I just felt I'll do that. No, but seriously, as I turned 30, I made the executive decision. If the seat is not single digits with an A or B attached to it, I'm not sitting in it.
Freaking Barlow? She's a real housewife all of a sudden.
No, I love the housewives. No, I decided 3 days ago, girl, if the seat is not a 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, it stops at 5. I don't even go to 6. At 6 is too much.
I sat on seat 18B and 18 and 17E going to Chicago. I got screwed with middle seats. I was sitting in the middle both times.
Middle?
Yeah, don't worry. I literally got stuck in shit.
Lord. No, like I cannot see the wing. I cannot see the wing from my window. I don't want to see the wing. The wing needs to be behind me so I could feel myself taking flight.
Never mind. You know what? I rescind my invitation. You're too diva-like for me.
I'm joking. I'll come. Economy comfort is my limit though. And it has to be Delta.
Sorry, I'll send my
on
PJ.
that. I'm not joking.
I'll send my PJ.
That's fine.
To get you.
That works too. That's the preference.
Anne-Marie just said I'm 42A for 11 hours to LA. She's 42A. She's in the bathroom. Oh my God, you guys, I love you very much.
She's monitoring.
So listen,
we didn't talk about Blake Brown Beauty.
Oh, Blake Brown. Okay, tell us about, and then we got to go because I do have another podcast to record. Just Jew and Me, my other podcast. You know, I'm a Jew. I'm a Jew.
I saw you and the guy. He was like, he's gonna dance. I saw that.
I'm a Jew.
Just said I'm a Jew. I'm an African.
Guys, please react to Brian Friedman's response saying Blake needs a mirror to see who's.
She needs to look in the mirror.
Yeah. Yes, she needs to look. in the mirror.
But I wanted to touch on the Blake Brown real quick because you do see that they submitted the protective order. So Blake got herself a lawyer called Samuel Levy, whatever his name is, Levy, no relation to Sean Levy, the director of Deadpool. But they're now asking to make sure the protective order extends to Blake Brown Beauty, which came out of nowhere. Like, who was even thinking of Blake Brown Beauty? Nobody wants your, and then they're asking for like their trade secrets to be protected. Nobody wants your mayonnaise shampoo. Nobody wants to know how you're frying chicken with your hair, because that everybody who's used your product says their hair comes out crispy. Nobody wants to know your Crisco format of shampoo and conditioner. Blake, you're walking out here looking like that, selling hair products is criminal. Number one. Number
Oh
two,
my
the
God.
only reason I can think of this protective order is if you're repurposing, and I said this, I'm not even joking. What if we find out she's like pouring Suave into like the Blake Brown containers and calling it like, luxury? But the one thing I thought of earlier today when I was on live is like, it's possible because, she made the Blake Brown stuff come out when she was marketing It Ends With Us. So they came out together, which we didn't find out it worked for her. But what if she was using It Ends With Us money to promote Blake Brown Beauty? And that's what she's trying to cover up, because that would be crazy. Because I would not be shocked to find out she merged the promos so the funds could be a little bit muddy, because we know Maximum Effort was working for the promo of Blake It Ends With Us. But what if It Ends With Us was paying for Blake Brown Beauty's promo? That would be crazy.
Of course and it would make sense, because Ryan Reynolds, I'm convinced, totally melds funds with his company and with Wrexham, and using this money to pay for this, and using Bob's money to pay for Tim's, if you know what I mean. So I'm convinced
Stealing from Peter to pay Paul.
That's what those are the names. Thank you.
Bob.
I like Bob and Tim. What, you have an issue?
Bob and Tim are good.
You have an issue with Bob and Tim?
Three letter names are good. Peter, Paul, Bob, Tim. It's good.
Why you got you don't like women or Bob and Tim now?
I don't like Bob and Tim.
So the problem is that no, but I totally agree. I think that there's a reason. They're like a little shady. They're a little scammy. And you know how Ryan was a guest at Grant Cardone's like speaking engagement a few weeks ago. You know, that guy is like a scam artist. He's a little MLM.
I live in Miami. We hate him.
Yeah, he's a little pyramid schemer, and they would be the first person to tell you to do stuff like this. Take these funds, use this money to promote this. I'm telling you, this is all making so much sense. I wouldn't be.
And I looked at her trademark, and as of January 25th, 2025, Blake Brown Beauty has a new owner. They don't tell you who it is, and they don't have an attorney on record. They don't have a representative on record. So I don't know who this Samuel Levy lawyer came out of. They put him from a hat all of a sudden this weekend, because he's not listed on the trademark report. And I know
they pulled him from Paul Feig's
with the
hat.
fringes.
Yeah,
they said bang, 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 bang. You got a lawyer. So I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking it's gonna be big, whatever. Because Blake Brown came out of nowhere. Nobody was looking at Blake Brown, but all of a sudden they were like, "We're gonna sign an NDA." They're like, "We're gonna comply. Please cover us with this protective order, please." And the only thing I can think of is either they're literally putting mayonnaise and Suave shampoo from the Dollar Tree in those containers, and they don't want people to find out, or they definitely were funneling funds from It Ends With Us to promote Blake Brown Beauty. Because
really,
other than that, why do we care about Blake Brown Beauty? So
it's really interesting. That is so interesting. Blake Brown Beauty was the last thing on everyone's mind. Like Betty Buzz was the last thing on everyone's mind. I mean, we were interested in the promotion of it. We were interested in the commercials of it and like that stuff. We didn't care about the business side of it.
Yeah. Now you're making me think about it. Now I want to go buy Blake Brown Beauty, take it to a lab and let them test it and tell me how much mayonnaise is in there. I might do it.
Every single person that I've talked to and seen on YouTube doing reviews of it, other than like clearly the paid ones, have said it's horrendous.
Oh yeah, 100%. And did you know I have a video, and I guess I'm telling y'all on my secret today.
It's
but
okay.
You know how they said in the lawsuit that like the smear campaign hurt their business? I have screenshots of people on the Blake Brown Beauty page after they said they sold out in minutes. They had to restock, of people begging them to restock. So which one is it? Did you sell out? Were you lying when you told people you were sold out? Because sometimes people will put a certain amount in stock so it could say sold out to create FOMO.
For scarcity, for like a scarcity.
For scarcity. So which one? Did you lie about the scarcity? Did you really sell out? Or did the smear campaign hurt you? Pick one. Either way, you look crazy. It's not looking good for them.
They can't get their story straight. It's so clear. When you're lying, your story changes all the time.
So bad. It's gonna end in split ends. We know that much. It's gonna end in split ends.
It ends with Elsie. Oh my gosh, you're the best. I love you.
Thank you guys for the happy birthday wishes.
Happy birthday, Elsie. Okay, can we make this more of a regular thing, like once every 2 weeks or whatever, at least, if not more?
We can, but I need proof of the GoFundMe for the first class ticket, because Donna, I'm not sitting in coach.
This girl
I'm
is
30 now.
I've never worked with such a serious mafia over here.
Are you sure?
Okay, we're
Meet Blake and then come back and talk to me.
You've learned it all from Blake. Everything
have.
you've learned in your negotiation techniques, like literally you've learned it all from Blake. I love you,
I
Elsie.
love it
You
for
guys
me.
make sure to subscribe to Elsie over on YouTube, over on Instagram. At Instagram, you're at Elsridge.
I'm Elsrich everywhere.
Everywhere.
Right there under my name. I don't know if they can see next to my name.
Yeah,
Elsrich.
yeah. ELSRICH. I'll put the notes, everything in the show notes. You guys, thank you for subscribing here on Daily Dose of Donna and leaving 5-star ratings and reviews over on audio. And I will be back tomorrow for Tuesday's episode of Daily Dose of Donna. Happy birthday, Elsie. Happy birthday to everyone except Blake Lively. I love you
Thank
guys so much. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Mwah.
Thank you. Bye.